Hello, pen friends. So this is the second in our series of inexpensive Demonstrator fountain pens. This is a brand that was totally new to me, Monami. I did a little research, meaning I used Google, and it turns out it is, according to their website, the leading stationery company of South Korea. So you can see that there is, in fact, Korean writing on the back of the pen, so that makes sense. However, the pen is made in China. So there you go. So whether you call this Korean or Chinese, I suppose, is up to you. This nifty thing was with a pen, and there's actually 3 cartridges in there from Jet Pens. How much was it? Sorry, I thought I had that number in front of me. It was $5.50. So it's right in there with a preppy in terms of an inexpensive getting started writing experience. It does have a little bit of packaging, which if you're giving it as a gift or something might be a pro. To me, it's a little bit of a con, although I don't know how else they'd give you the 3 cartridges. This is really interesting. It's actually really hard to open for just a piece of plastic. It's obnoxiously difficult to get the pen out. Okay, so we've freed the pen. There are the 2 extra cartridges. Boom, boom. We'll come back to this, but these cartridges are interesting because they appear to be made of a hard, clear plastic instead of the sort of softer, translucent that we're used to seeing on ink cartridges. So here is the pen. It is... Here it is. I'll show you. I did this briefly in the intro video, but I'll just show you next to the preppy. So they are just about exactly the same size. This is more of the cigar torpedo shape, whereas the preppy is the flat top. Okay, so what's the potential for this pen as a demonstrator that shows off ink? Well, the obvious thing going on here is this is a cartridge pen. I think it might also be a cartridge converter pen. I was looking at the ink cartridges, and they do look a little proprietary. Definitely not, see that they're not the same diameter as an international ink cartridge, but it actually, and I think I read something about this online, doesn't look too different from Lamy. So let's see if that would... And of course, you wouldn't have to use the Z. Yeah, that fits real well, actually. So if you wanted to use, let's see if there's enough room in the barrel. Ooh, tight. But, whoa, it's like it's been designed for. Look at that. Maybe it has. So I would use I always get confused as to which is which. I would use the black one in this pen. Obviously, that doesn't look very good. But you could use this with a converter. But of course, what I want to do with this pen, like the preppy, is I want to eyedropper it. So here comes the test. Is this barrel vented or not? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my mouth on it and I'm going to blow into the mic and we'll see. Whoa. Yeah. Yep. Nope. That you can hear there must be a hole there. Well, the good news is if you got this stuck in your throat, you could get some air in and not suffocate immediately, and that's probably why it has the air hole. Likely this is marketed to children. So that's kind of disqualifying, but there is this saving grace, which is these cartridges. I mean, it's not disqualifying because I could go get... use the Lamy converter, but again, I don't love the idea of using a converter that costs more than the pen itself. So I'm looking at this cartridge and I'm thinking, wonder what this looks like when it's empty and if I could refill it with a colorful ink. So I'm going to do that and we'll come back and we'll have a verdict as to whether the Monami Olika is out of the running entirely or not. Okay, we're back and I've succeeded in emptying this ink cartridge, and as I thought, it's mostly transparent. Looks like there's a kind of a plug in the base. It's probably set in there permanently, and there's a little bit of the black ink. By the way, the Monami black skewed very purple when I was rinsing it out, just so you would know. It's a cool black. But it looks like that's not going to interfere too much. So let's go ahead and put some ink in this. It looks like it's going to hold about a mil. I'm going to just put this down to protect my work surface here. Okay, so this is a bottle of Monteverde charoite. Charoite, actually, I think it's charoite from a mineral from the Charo River in Siberia, I believe. I actually bought a cabochon of charoite to give to someone who likes purple and actually has used this ink. Okay, so get about a mil in there, looks like. Okay, now maybe I should have chosen a less dark ink. I think that's kind of user error. That's not, doesn't look too much different from black, so I don't know that that's a good test of showing off an ink. Let me undo this. Okay, so this is, ooh, that's pretty. What do we think? I mean, I guess even in a big demonstrator, except where it's sloshed around. Oh, that's the trick. Let's not fill it all the way. Let's leave it some room to slosh. Enough to... Okay, so we're going to go with this, and we're going to see what it looks like. Now, here's something interesting. This Monami Olika pen actually uses a fiber wick rather than a normal feed. It has a sort of preppy style flat nib. So we're going to see how long it takes that to get up in there. So I'm going to turn it upside down and let it soak. While I do that, I'll tell you something interesting. Well, I don't know if it's interesting, just a fact I realized, is that on jet pens, the clear-bodied Olikas only come in the extra fine nib, and the fine nib is only on the ones with the colorful resin bodies. So again, it's kind of like the preppy. It's like someone's making some decisions for us as to what colors we can have. Okay, so does that show the ink off? Man, I really wish this didn't have a hole in it. I think that would be really cool to see that whole barrel full. But the ink cartridge is in fact clear. So it's at least not completely disqualified. It's still a contender, and of course you don't have to worry about the leakage issues if the barrel should crack like you would with preppy. One thing I think will be an issue with this pen, and so maybe it's good that it can't eyedropper, is that the capping mechanism, it actually caps to the front of the section. It does have this nice rubberized grip. So there, you can see it right there. It has those... So this is recessed, and then it has these bumps around the inside, but I doubt that's very airtight. So I think you're going to get the problem. Oh, in fact, let's see if the cap is airtight. Unlike the barrel, the cap is airtight, so don't get this stuck in your throat. But I wonder if this would dry out over time. Okay, we've given it a few seconds. Let's see if we got some ink into the nib here. Oh, we did. Not too bad. Okay, let's see what the writing experience is like. Charoite is such a pretty color. Monami Olika Extra Fine. This is Monteverde Charoite. It's on the dry side, but it's not. No, I take that back. It's kind of moderate. I'm not much of an extra fine nib fan, but this is not unpleasant. It's not too scratchy or anything. I mean, you're not going to get much line variation out of it, if any. But, oh, that actually, did that open it? No. Anyways, blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know. I think we can at least keep this one in the contender list. It's certainly inexpensive. And with that fiber, I suspect it's going to be another one that it's hard to change the color, right? You'd have to flush a lot of water through there. But you get to see some ink slosh. If it was a brighter colored ink, it would probably be more dramatic. But we're going to keep this one at least on the list. It is not completely disqualified. You just have to empty out the ink cartridge and then use a syringe to refill it. By the way, it's obviously possible to plug holes. You'll see people have done this with the Kakuno. We'll talk about the holes again when we get to the Kakuno. But I'm trying to do with a minimum of effort. I don't mind putting on an O-ring and some silicone grease, but I don't want to have to put epoxy or hot glue or whatever in here just to use it. But you could. Okay, so this has been the Monami Olika, and we will see you for the next video. Bye.